triple in the beginning days of the NBA.
Absolutely.
But now he can shoot from half court like it's nothing. This is the process. This is the way creativity works. It's a beautiful thing, man, and you got to let it happen.
That's amazing. And what's really interesting, Terry, is you mentioned that when you started, the internet was almost the bottom of the rung for that entertainment.
Exactly.
How has that changed? How has social media changed the way you think about what you create? Like, take me through, like, what is your relationship with social media as somebody so established in Hollywood in the traditional world?
Well, see, once I had that breakthrough in commercial, I realized no medium is beneath me. You know what I mean? There's no such thing. And there's another way to entertain people. I remember doing early reality. I did a TV show for BET called The Family Cruise. And me and my whole family put ourselves on cameras. And this is the early days. People are like, no, you don't do reality. You'll be condemned to, hell, Hollywood hell, But I did it and it worked. Then I realized it all works. And I started getting into the internet, man, and we like the power of YouTube, the power of Instagram, the power of TikTok. I embrace it all. When in the early days of the internet, I remember being on the set of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and the early days of Instagram and the whole thing, and no one would let you take a picture on set. They were like, oh, no. If you pulled out your phone, there would be executives running over like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, yeah, but I'm trying to share this on my Facebook. This is back in the day, right? Then one year, we come back after our hiatus. We come back. They're like, okay, everybody take as many pictures as you want. And I was scared. I was like, no, you trying to trick me, man. You trying to trick me. And they were, no, go ahead and post. Go ahead. Post everything. Post a bunch of behind the scenes, all that stuff. You would get sued. If you had behind the scenes footage on sets and all this stuff, it was legal ramifications. All of a sudden they were just, no, go ahead. And I didn't trust it for a little while. I remember it was like 6 months I was going, I don't trust you guys. Y'all try to hit me with a lawsuit. But then because they discovered the power of what the internet was. And they were like, look, you're not giving it away. As long as you don't give away any spoilers, you're giving people access. Yeah. And so I embraced it wholeheartedly. And I realized too that I did a lot to reject the people that I didn't want on my social media. And that was another thing too, because I realized that, there's a big difference between a car accident and a museum. When I say a museum, you go in there, you have 10 people, 20 people who go and enjoy and watch and love it. Then you have a car accident that gets millions of followers. But it's a car accident. You know what I mean? Like, I had followers that were wanting to see me crash. And I realized I have to get rid of those people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I want my social media to be like a museum.
What's really interesting is I feel like this short film that you made with Zach King, Stranded 3, feels like a museum in many ways, but also has the views of a car accident.
Right.
It gets that viewership. What were some of those things that you learned from Zach? I had a chance to interview him, and he went through the whole process of coming up with ideas. Like, it's ironic because he's so about magic, but he's so structured. What were some of the things that you learned from Zach behind the scenes with that collaboration?
He has a team where they spend all day just examining new ways to create content. And that's one thing I learned. I was like, this man is a miracle worker every time, because you're talking about special effects that have cost hundreds of millions of dollars to do in movies. He's found ways to do the same thing for pennies. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't tell the difference. And that was the thing that shocked so many people. Like, if you think and work on it hard enough, you can crack this code. And this is one reason why I decided to get with Zach. Because I said, there's things that I want to learn, the magic that I want to learn from this short format, because I want to be able to entertain at any level, at any time, from 12 minutes to 30 seconds to 2 hours. I want to be able to hit that. And there was a lot I learned working with those guys, and his crew is immaculate, man. Yeah. Just, they're good people. Let me tell you, this is another thing. All judgment kills creativity. When someone is like, when we were on the set of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there was no such thing as a bad joke. You could spit it out there, you could try it, and we would let you have it. And we was like, and if it didn't work, we wouldn't put you down. It wouldn't go down. But you can ad lib. You can try something. It would be free play. But that's why the show worked. That's why we got 8 years. Because but imagine there's been shows where somebody tried an ad lib and they got, what are you doing? That's not funny. It sucks. And you're like, I'll never do that again. And all of a sudden the show stops being funny. And people are like, if it ever got on the air, it would be canceled pretty soon. I realized that. And this is the mode, this is the atmosphere that you need in order to be your most creative. It's gotta be no judgment at all. Everything is it's almost like the improv technique where the answer is yes and.
Right.
And all of a sudden, yes, and we'll do this. You know what I mean? And when you have that attitude, dude, the sky's the limit. And that's the hip, Zach King and his whole crew have that whole attitude.
Yeah, I remember he was telling me that they get on set, they have their plan, but they always leave room for an extra 10% improvement.
Yes.
An extra 10% innovation. I just thought that's, a manifestation of the yes and.
So good, man. I was loving how simpatico we were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our personalities, everything. It was like, wow, man, I can't wait to do more with him. I'm telling you, he's a superstar, man. Him and the whole crew and everybody, it was really, really special.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, you have so many talents. You push so many limits, and you have one talent that to me is equally as surprising as the painting and a lot of things you've talked about. It's your ability to play flute. I was wondering if you're open to it. You play us a little something to close us out here.
Yeah, let's try something. Listen, this is, again, I'm not very good, but
it's okay.
it's been a while. Let's try this. Let's see. There we go. There we go.
That's amazing. Terry, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, man, my pleasure, John. My pleasure. Thank you so much, man. Your questions were great. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's good. That's good.